to everyone. I am Dr. VNSR Venkateswara Rao, working as Associate Professor from the Department of Chemistry in University of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, I would like to give the topic on the one of the important pollutions, nothing but soil pollution and noise pollution. First of all, we have to see what are the topics covered in today's soil pollution and noise pollution. So first we discuss about the introduction to the individual pollutions, nothing but soil pollution, and after that noise pollution. Then give the definition. After that we see what are the causes and sources for the noise. After that soil pollution. Then see what are the types. After that impacts, and next cover the effects. Finally we finish the topics with the control measures of both soil pollution and noise pollution. Let us see introduction to the soil pollution. So first of all, soil is a thin covering over the land consisting of a mixture of minerals, organic material, living organisms, air and water that together support the growth of plant life. That means soil is the one of the important component, especially living organisms, nothing but plants. If the soil is better one, the plant growth is will be takes place more and more. That means quality of the soil should be directly proportional to the plant growth. So several factors contribute to the formation of soil from the parent material. This includes mechanical weathering of rocks due to temperature changes and erosion, wind, moving water, glaciers, chemical weathering activities and lichens. So that means there are several factors which affects the plant growth. Nothing but first of all mechanical weathering of the rocks. That should be due to temperature changes and erosion and wind moving water. And next one glaciers, and fourth one nothing but a chemical weathering activities and lichens. These following factors, nothing but four factors are very important for the formation of soil from the parent material. Okay. So climate and time are also important in the development of the soils. Extremely dry or cold climates develop soils very slowly, while humid and warm climates develop them more rapidly. That means cold climate should be inversely proportional to the development of the soil, whereas warm climate should be directly proportional to the development of the soil. So under ideal climatic conditions, soft parent material may develop into centimeter of the soil within 15 years. That means in ideal condition, it is very important. The soft parent material may develop into centimeter of the soil within 15 years. So under poor climatic conditions, a hard parent material may require hundreds of the years to develop into the soil. That means the climatic condition is very important for the development of the soil. So if the ideal development, so that means the cold development will takes place more and more time for the development of the soil, whereas warm development will takes place within the 15 years of the time for the development of the centimeter of the soil area. So what is the definition for the soil pollution? So any contaminant which causes adverse change in the soil quality is called as soil pollution. Any contaminant, nothing but it may be substance or any other form, that is nothing but which causes the adverse change in the soil quality. That means it affects the quality of the soil. That is nothing but soil pollution. So it may be defined as a soil pollution is defined as the presence of toxic chemicals. The presence of toxic chemicals. So what are the examples for toxic chemicals? Nothing but the derivatives of the carbons and the derivatives of the sulfur, nitrogen. All of this comes under category of the pollutants or contaminants. Pollutants are contaminants in the soil in high enough concentrations to pose a risk to the human health. And the ecosystem. So this is nothing but the definition of the soil. So what is the definition? Soil pollution is defined as the presence of toxic chemicals. So toxic chemicals, nothing but the derivatives of the carbon, nitrogen, sulfur. All of these comes under category of the pollutants are contaminants, simply called as toxic chemicals in the soil in high enough concentration to pose a risk to the development of human health or ecosystem. So that is nothing but a soil pollution. So what are the examples comes under category of the soil pollution, especially manufacturing, industrial dumping, land development, local waste disposal, and excessive pesticide or fertilizer use. That means these are comes under category of the examples of the soil pollution. First one, manufacturing, industrial dumping, land development, local waste disposal, and excessive pesticide or fertilizer uses comes under category of the soil pollution. So, what are the causes about the soil pollution? Now, let us see what are the causes about the soil pollution. The first one is nothing but population growth. Second one, urbanization. Third one, industrialization. And fourth one, excessive use of insecticides. And fifth one, excessive use of chemical fertilizers. And dumping of waste materials such as plastic, expired chemicals, and more than necessary use of irrigation projects. So all of this comes under category of the causes of the soil pollution. So these are very very important to cause the soil pollution: population growth, urbanization. So population growth, nothing but in like countries China and India, the population growth is very very more. That's why the soil pollution takes place very very rapidly. Whereas urbanization, that means development of cities, towns, they may cause the so much of the soil pollution. Industrialization. So from the effluents coming out from the industry, they also cause the land and the soil pollution. And excessive use of the insecticides, because of the formation of development of the areas, urban like areas, there is a formation of insecticides in order to cause the so much of the soil pollution. And because of the crop development, we use so much of the fertilizers, they also causes the soil pollution. And there are so much of the dumping of the waste materials, especially nothing but plastic materials, plastic bottles, plastic covers, polythene bags, all of this causes the soil pollution. And also some of the people, they are directly leave the expired chemicals on the soil. It is also causes the soil pollution. And some of the R&D developments start the unnecessary use of the irrigation projects. They also causes the soil pollution. So now see what are the types of the soil pollution. The soil pollution is of classified into mainly two types. One is natural soil pollution, and the second one is man-made soil pollution. So for the natural soil pollution, what are the examples? Nothing but volcano eruption. Whereas man-made soil pollution, nothing but agriculture, industry, and domestic. Whereas what are the examples for the man-made soil pollution? Nothing but examples are agriculture, industry, and domestic. So now let us see the types of the soil pollution. The soil pollution is mainly classified into two types. One is natural soil pollution, and the second one is man-made soil pollution. The example of natural soil pollution is nothing but volcano eruption. Whereas man-made soil pollution, nothing but the examples involves agriculture, industry, and domestic. So what are the impacts of this soil pollution? Industrial agriculture is a form of modern farming that refers to the industrialized production of livestock, poultry, fish, and crops. The methods of industrial agriculture are techno-scientific, economic, and political. So they include innovation in agriculture machinery, hybrid seeds, and farming. So modern methods of agriculture have resulted in use of fertilizers and pesticides to increase the yield of crops. So most of them are synthetic and chemicals based. They are collectively called agrochemicals. So the intensive particles have several environmental impacts as given in the following figure. So this is about the what are the modern agriculture practices, modern agriculture practices. So most probably what are the inputs? Nothing but chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides, and hybrid seed and GM seed and monoculture and dams for irrigation. So all of this comes under category of the inputs of the modern agriculture practices. So because of that, what are the environmental impacts takes place? First one, nothing but groundwater pollution, and second one, nothing but soil erosion, and third one, nothing but loss of soil fertility, and fourth one, nothing but water lagging and salinization. And fifth one nothing but eutrophication. And sixth one nothing but soil toxicity. And seventh one nothing but greenhouse effect due to atmospheric pollution. And eighth one nothing but desertification. And ninth one nothing but scarcity of the water. 10th one genetic erosion. 11th one reduction of biomass for fodder and organic manure. And 12th one nothing but loss of the soil beneficial microorganisms. And 13th one nothing but reduction of the pulses, oil seed and millets crops which cause the nutritional imbalances. And 14th one nothing but contamination of pesticides in food chain. And 15th one nothing but loss of traditional crop varieties. And 16th one nothing but finally it is air pollution. Totally 16 environmental impacts are observed by the modern agricultural practices. So these are very, very important in order to control the modern agriculture practices. So now let us see what are the effects of the soil pollutions. These pollutants alter the chemical and biological properties of the soil. Both the chemical and biological properties of the soil. As a result, hazardous chemicals can enter into the human food chain from the soil or water, disturb the biochemical process, and finally lead to serious effects on the living organisms. So now let us see how to control the soil pollution. So first one nothing but soil erosion can be controlled by a variety of forestry and film particles. Counter cultivation and strip cropping may be practiced instead of the shifting cultivation. Tracing and building diversion channels may be undertaken. So reducing deforestation and substituting chemical manures by animal waste also helps arrest soil erosion in the long term. Next, second one, proper dumping of the unwanted materials. Excess waste by man and animals force a disposal problem. Open dumping is the most commonly practiced technique. Nowadays, controlled tipping is followed for solid waste disposal. The surface so obtained is used for housing or sports field. And third one, production of the natural fertilizers. Biopesticides should be used in place of toxic chemical pesticides. Organic fertilizers should be used in place of synthesized chemical fertilizers. Example, organic waste in animal dung may be used to prepare compost manure instead of throwing them wastefully and polluting the soil. And fourth one, proper hygienic condition. People should be trained regarding sanitary habits. For example, laboratories should be equipped with quick and effective disposal methods. And next one, public awareness. Informal and formal public awareness programs should be impacted to educate people on health hazards by environmental education. So, for example, mass media, educational institutions, and voluntary agencies can achieve this public awareness. And sixth one, nothing but recycling and reuse of the waste. To minimize soil pollution, the waste such as paper, plastics, metals, glasses, organics, petroleum products, and industrial effluents, etc., should be recycled and reused. So, for example, industrial waste should be properly treated at source. Integrated waste treatment methods should be adopted in order to reduce the industrial effluents. And seventh one, ban on toxic chemicals. Ban should be imposed on chemicals and pesticides like DDT, BHC, etc., which are fatal to plants and animals. So, nuclear explosions and improper disposal of radioactive waste should be banned. Okay, so this is about the control measures of the soil pollution. Next, we see the noise pollution. So, this is about the introduction to the noise pollution. So, everyone knows that sound is a form of energy that is capable of causing disturbances in human beings and structure. For example, buildings, bridges, etc. They are also causing disturbances to the sound. So, ears are the hearing organs in human beings. A thin membrane is called tympanum or eardrum, receives the vibrations produced by the sound to a limited extent. So human ear is capable of perceiving about 85 decibels of the sound. So this is very very important. The capacity of the human ear capable of perceiving about 85 decibels of the sound. So sound measured in the decibels. Okay, beyond that limit, the eardrum cannot be hear sound. Okay, in nature we hear different types of the sounds. Sound is a kind of vibration which travel through air, water, and are sensed by the ear. So this is from music, speech, etc., from radio, television, computers, etc. One thing in this matter is that we can increase the volume of sound or decrease as per our taste, whereas a noise is a sound which cannot be heard clearly and only mixed sounds will be heard. So, for example, in general, a sound is a vibration from a particular mission, place, or material which can be heard clearly, whereas a noise, a mixed vibrations that will come to us from all directions. So a sound can be clear and can be able to hear, whereas a noise will not be clear and cannot be heard. So sources to the noise pollution. So there are so many sources to the noise pollution. An unwanted sound is called noise. When it crosses optimal limit, then that is called noise pollution. So this noise pollution occurs through the different sources. Vehicles produce noise that leads to the noise pollution. Automobile industry is another source of noise pollution. Noise pollution is very common in industrial areas, whereas machines are working for factories, making more noise. So the source of noise are more in urban and industrial areas than in rural areas. The sources of noise may be stationary or mobile. So the stationary sources include industries, loudspeakers, mining operations, and use of machineries, TV, radio, and grinders, etc. So the mobile sources include road traffic, highway noise, railway traffic, and air traffic. The mobile sources include road traffic, highway noise, railway traffic, and air traffic. So, noise can be classified into two types. They are natural noise pollution, example thunders, and man-made noise pollution. Nothing but examples are industrial vehicles, etc. So, stationary sources, nothing but industrial noise. The main categories of the industrial activity that are particularly relevant to the study of noise are the following. So, product fabrication, product assembly, power generation by means of generators, combusting process in furnaces, burning of gases. So noise from construction works. So construction noise, a major source of the noise pollution, is emitted by the construction equipment. The sources of the noise are dozers, excavators, front and end loaders, soil compactors, cranes, compressors, concrete vibrations, reverting steel structure during the casting, dismantling of construction materials, etc. So noise from other sources. These include sources such as sirens, barking dogs, ambulances, police vehicles, fire engines, etc. Noise from other sources. These include sources such as sirens, barking dogs, ambulances, police vehicles, fire engines, etc. So, and we see mobile sources, nothing but the road traffic. Of all sources of the noise pollution, road traffic is the most prevalent and perhaps the most source of the noise pollution. More people are exposed to noise from motor vehicles, and the noise depends on various factors such as road location, road design, vehicle standards, horns, and traffic density. So, what are the noise of common road vehicles? Vehicle type and noise measured in decibels. So, medium road traffic main roads present within the limits 70 to 80 decibels, whereas heavy road traffic highways it will be present 80 to 90 decibels. Buses and trucks up to 3.5 tons they maintain 85 to 95 decibels. Trucks up to 3.5 to 12 tons they maintain 90 to 100 decibels. For motorcycles, they maintain 90 to 105 decibels. So it can be observed that motorcycles with their exposed engines and inadequate silencing arrangements are notorious noise producers, which produces more than 30 times sound than a small passenger car. So railway traffic. Noise from railway traffic is not serious nuisance as compared to the road traffic noise. The level of noise associated with rail traffic is related to the type of engine, the speed of train, track type, and condition. So these factors are very very important. Railway traffic mainly associated noise with rail traffic is related to the first one is nothing but type of engine. Second one is nothing but the speed of train. Third one, track type. Fourth one, and type of the condition. Okay, so these are very very important for railway traffic. The majority of the noise emitted by the trains is produced by the engine or by the interaction of wheels with tracks, horns, warning signals at crossings, etc. So air traffic. The noise of aircraft is different from that road traffic in the sense it is intermittent. So noise is maximum during takeoff and landing. So noise made by jet planes is more disturbance than that propeller-driven aircraft. Supersonic aircraft produce noise at high levels due to its intensity. So at 120 decibels, the air registers pain, but hearing damage begins about 85 decibels. Apart from hearing loss, noise can cause lack of sleep, irritation, indigestion, ulcers, high blood pressure, heart diseases, stress, speech problems, anxiety, depression, etc. So the first one, annoyance, feeling slightly angry. So one of the most important effects of the noise on human is annoyance. So due to this breathing rate effects, noise induced hearing loss. Exposure to noise for long enough duration results in damage to the inner ear and thus decreases one's ability to hear. So the louder noise, the less time it takes to cause hearing loss. So effects on sleep. It has been found that the causes related to various levels of noise are associated with sleep disturbances. Sleep disturbances by noise depends on the characteristics of the noise such as frequency and loudness. And what are the other effects to the noise pollution? There are many other effects of the noises which involve aggression, ready to attack. People may neurological disorder, hence non-functioning of hands, legs, etc. due to the continuous exposure to the noise pollution. And structures. Sometimes noise causes cracks to the buildings, bridges, and even collapse at high pitchy sounds. So now we see, based on the above effects of the noise pollution, how to control this noise pollution. Noise pollution could be controlled by either reducing the noise at the source or by preventing its transmission. The first step in the prevention of noise pollution is to control the noise at source itself. So lubrication of machines reduces the noise produced. Because of the lubrication to reduce the friction, that's why noise also reduced. Tightening the loose nuts and reducing the vibrations produced by the machines, etc. Developing of new technologies to get free from the noise pollution. So electric vehicles, e-vehicles reduce the noise pollution great extent. So bringing awareness among the people about noise pollution and the consequence of the noise pollution. So through last noise from various social functions, meetings, etc. can be controlled. So festivals nothing but Diwali, Dasara, Moharram, etc. should celebrate with low noise pollution. Avoid horns except in emergency situation. Soundproof or echo generators and turning down the volume of stereos. So these are the best important methods to control the noise pollution. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.